everyone, it's Kristen. Obviously there's Dazzler. You can I think see her ear. She's probably gonna sleep in the tray again. That's kind of her trademark of where she is while I'm doing these videos lately. So today is Tuesday. So yesterday was Spider Woman, which I done quite a few videos with her, so I'll put the link to those in the comments or in the description. I always say comments. I don't know why. For her, it says powers and weapons. Jessica Drew possesses superhuman strength, endurance, and speed. She can focus her bioelectricity into venom blasts sufficient to stun or kill normal humans, and she can adhere to almost any surface. I mean, which makes sense, Spider Woman. She rapidly forms an immunity to all poisons and drugs and is immune to radiation. So that's pretty cool. So let's see. For today, it's a cool image of Black Knight, Captain America, and Vision, which I've talked about all three of them on my channel. So for today, the stamp is Dragon Man, which I'm sure even if you don't know about him, you might know about him because there was quite a buzz about him in the Marvel Legends community because Hasbro Pulse released a exclusive Dragon Man in October of last year. I didn't get it. I was tempted to get it because it just looks so cool, and it's like 10 inches tall, and its wingspan is like literally 17 inches. And it just looked really cool, and I was super tempted to get it, but I'm like, no, X-Men, just focus on X-Men, because if once you start, going outside of, X-Men, for me, I would be like, oh my gosh, I just need everything. So I was like, not a good idea. But it looked really, really cool. I mean, I think it comes out August of this year. It was like a pre-order. Basically, you order it, and only the people that ordered it are gonna get it. So, I mean, I'm sure people ordered multiple, and they will be selling them afterwards on aftermarket prices, which I don't want to pay. But I didn't order it, so it's fine. But anyway, he looks really cool. So this is from Thor number 231, January 75, Stamp Also Appears in Man Thing number 5, May of 74, Marvel Spotlight number 16, July of 74. And they got this image from Fantastic Four number 44, November 65, art by Jack Kirby and Vince Coletta. And this, I believe, was his first appearance of Dragon Man. And they changed him because, of course, on this image, he is green, but really he is purple. And hence they changed the image here to reflect like how he actually looks. So, for those of you that don't know, Dragon Man, he was created by this scientist, Gilbert... is his last name. I think his first name is Gregson. I think. I want to say it's definitely a G. But anyway, Gilbert's last name. And he created this android because, he was trying to fill the void left by his whole family dying. So, yeah. I mean, but he, as a scientist, though, alone, he couldn't get it to work. And then along comes Diablo, who's this 9th century alchemist, sorcerer, dark arts guy who sold his soul to Mephisto for power, long life, etc. And so using his alchemy combined with the science got Dragon Man to give him life. But the thing is, Dragon Man only has the intelligence of a basically like a dog, like a domesticated dog, like a dog that you can train to do a couple tricks, that sort of thing. I mean, not to say dogs aren't smart, because some of them are very smart, but you know what I mean. Like, if his master says, okay, go attack this person, then he's going to, because he's like, okay, that's my master, so I'm going to do what they say. In other words, he can't really think for himself. So anyway, and it's interesting because in the beginning, he has a thing for for girls, like kind of like King Kong, taking away the girl to the top of the tower. Like, he meets Sue, and he's kind of immediately like enamored with her, and that's why he, you know, doesn't finish off the Fantastic Four. Um, and they actually, at the time, built him like his own little home in the Baxter Building. But unfortunately, though, okay, Dragon Man is a character who got used a whole lot. Like, he got used as a pawn a whole lot. I mean, unfortunately. But anyway, so from Sue, he sees Medusa and mistakes Medusa for Sue. Like I said, he's not the brightest, bulb. And he actually even was enamored with Jean Grey for a while, and he became like the mascot of the X-Men and helped them battle Juggernaut, the Blob, the Sentinels. But unfortunately, he was kind of created more chaos than good, so they rehomed him, found him in a home on Monster Island. So, as I said, he's used as a pawn by a lot of bad guys, a lot of villains. Machine Smith was one of them. He's this inventor who, when he was young, found a decommissioned Doombot, took it apart piece by piece, like examined it, and basically became like a genius in robotics from that, and built like his own robots. And his robots, that well-meaning, when his body was damaged, almost kind of beyond repair, especially to the robots thinking, they downloaded his consciousness into a robot body, and he actually sent Dragon Man to attack Captain America because he wanted Captain America to end his own life. Since he was part robot, he wasn't allowed, like, he couldn't end his own life. So he had to have Captain America do it for him, which I don't know why he couldn't just order. Maybe because Dragon Man is also an android, he couldn't just, order Dragon Man to do it. I don't know. Anyway, this elaborate ploy to get Captain America to end his own life, which he did, end up destroying the machines, and the machines also had, a copy of Machine Smith in them, so effectively Captain America killed him. But not really, because later he was downloaded into another robot body, and, but after that, he, like, got rid of his suicidal tendencies and decided to embrace being a robot, and used, his robotness for to continue his life of crime. So that was one of the interesting. And then, like, there's this guy, like Raul Dorn. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He is actually a dragon rider from an extra dimensional reality. Please do not ask me to pronounce the reality name, because I have no idea how to pronounce it. Yeah. Anyway, so he kind of faces his rival, is declared the new Dragon Master, and takes Dragon Man back to his dimension with him. And okay, and all the times, the Dragon Man gets captured, or he goes somewhere else to another dimension or whatever, he always comes back, escapes. They never really explain why or how that happens. It just does, and you're supposed to just go with it because it's comic books. It happens. Let's see. Oh, the at one point he was in the Circus of Crime. The Ringmaster, used his hypnodisc on his hat to influence Dragon Man, take him over. The Power Pack, it was a cute story. They found him and kept him in their basement, the basement of the building that they lived in at the time, and called him Baby. Like I said, that was a cute story. And there was also like a Watcher it was kind of, like went rogue from what he's supposed to do. And he created the Frightful Four to face the Fantastic Four. And like he used Dragon Man kind of like to capture them as a guard for, guarding the Fantastic Four. I mean, Kingpin and the Wizard used Dragon Man against Spider Man. Roxxon used him. Like I said, poor Dragon Man has just been used a whole lot as a pawn because, like I said, he has at the time super limited intelligence. I mean, and even Gilbert tried to over the years tame him and tried to basically give him a home, but unfortunately, he always he was so susceptible to outside influences. Like the android part of his brain was susceptible to certain frequencies and vibrations. And yeah, so unfortunately, and he would go on a lot of rampages. Like he rampaged around. I feel like one of the stories was in Hawaii and Los Angeles, New York. Just went on a bunch of rampages. And even when he was incarcerated, he would escape. He was in the negative zone prison for a time. He was in this prison where like he shrunk down, like the all the prisoners were shrunk down to where they were like super little, and they somehow managed to shrink themselves down even further. And when She-Hulk was visiting one of her clients in prison, they actually managed to escape out on She-Hulk without notice. And he was part of, let's see, like an all android villain group. I forgot what it was. I forgot what it was named. And of course, Puppet Master. You know, pretty obvious that he used him too. I mean, Puppet Master. What do you expect? But he used him. He was able to control him, like using his DNA. Let's see what else. Oh, and we've talked about like the Stranger, briefly. He had his own stamp in this series, and I talked about the time where he disguised himself as the Beyonder because he's really a scientist at heart, and so he disguised himself as the Beyonder, brought all these heroes and villains to his recreated battle world in order to study them, and Dragon Man was one of those that he brought. But so fast forward, so like all that, I mean, just to say, mostly he was just used as a puppet, and he would just show up randomly. Even after like being incarcerated, he would escape. So fast forward to more recent, where the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards and Sue Richards' daughter Valeria, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Like I said, you know me in pronunciations. She actually was able to look into his programming and upgrade his intelligence to where he could think for himself, and he was actually, quite smart thanks to her, messing with his programming. Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of that, at one point, Hank Pym had Dragon Man, and he examined him, and him examining Dragon Man led to kind of led to his creation of Ultron, like using what he learned and gleaned from examining Dragon Man. That's how he created Ultron. So there's another like little tidbit or why Dragon Man's important. But anyway, Valeria upgraded him, and he became like the caregiver, the caretaker of the Future Foundation, the Fantastic Four's gifted students, like program for gifted students. Like he was their caretaker. He would make them breakfast, kind of like their nanny, their teacher, their chaperone, their guardian slash protector. Like they went on field trips to like the Bermuda Triangle, the Wakanda, the space station. I mean, like I said, it was a fun. Those were fun stories. I enjoyed those stories. It was fun seeing him like as this ginormous dragon man, huh? Taking care of these kids, making breakfast and just chaperoning and stuff. So yeah, I mean, that, yeah, to me those are fun stories. I'm glad they gave him his own like personality finally, like his own story rather than just having him be a pawn of everybody else. But as I said, I was pretty, you know, I was so tempted to get his Marvel Legend because it just looks so cool. But I told myself, yeah, just stick to X-Men. Otherwise, you will go crazy and then you'll want everything and need everything. And I do not have the space, especially since my mansion that I made takes up so much space. And it's not like I can, I mean, it's not like I can put stuff on top of the mansion or like, really in it or so anyway, it takes up way too much space for me to think about collecting everything. So, because I could have like a whole shelf unit there where the mansion is and put like all kinds of stuff there, but I chose to have the mansion there instead. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I actually got my Uncanny X-Men comic number 15 today finally, so I'm about to jump off here and go to my other room and film that video. So I hope you will join me for that too. And I guess we'll just leave Dazzler here and let her sleep. But at least you kind of saw her at the beginning of the video briefly. But anyway, so I hope you guys join me for my future videos. And until next time, bye.